to have something soon because we've got some feelers out and some people are interested. So we're going to be, making that public as soon as we can. We want people to come out and experience this. There's a lot of different things going on. The April in the Velvet Room. The Velvet Room is just a kind of tongue-in-cheek about. There's going to be different headliners in playing with us on different gigs. There'll be different aspects of performance in regards to some of the people on the album are like royalty. So if we have somebody, from Steely Dan with us that night, or if we have somebody from Stevie Wonder or whatever, they will be featured. And we might even have some dancers do some performances. It's going to be a very interesting, different performance that I think people are really going to be interested in.
Yeah, I'm interested. Like I said, it would be interesting to see you up here. I think there are plenty of venues, so fingers crossed you do get up here to Vegas and do maybe a gig or two as well. So hopefully it'll end up happening. Really, I mean, on stage, I mean, the thing is that with jazz is the idea of improvisation and to be able the ability for the band to I don't want to say go on a tangent, but just improvise a little bit as well. I mean, as a singer, obviously you kind of have to stick to what your lyrics and all that as well. But it almost is a little bit easier as a singer just because you do have some of those breaks in order to kind of catch your breath, as it were. I mean, how's it been for you? I mean, I know you haven't performed any of the Velvet Room stuff yet, but you said you have performed with jazz bands before. Tell me a little bit about that experience.
Well, I run one of the top corporate show bands in the U.S., so I have performed quite a bit, and depending on, we tailor ourselves to the event, so it's called Haute Chile Productions, and we've done a lot of upper scale. Actually, the parties are all upper scale, so depending on, some people want sophisticated, like cocktail hour, some people want dinner music, so I've been able to do a lot of that kind of those kind of songs in some of those aspects, and because they're all private events with that other band. And it's awesome to do that. But I know what you're saying is that and there's interesting things that happen on stage in regards to the mood of the room and the mood of the musicians, and improvisation and all that can be awe-inspiring. You hear some stuff come out of these musicians that you were not planning on, and if they're moved in that moment, if they're feeling it and they're moved, and they all of a sudden here's some solo coming out that's got sparks flying off of it, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and that's what the beauty of jazz, is that portion of it. I mean, you get it from rock and roll once in a while, but you don't get it from that often. So it's great to be able to do that and just have just be in the moment and kind of figure out. And sometimes sometimes that's feeding off the audience too, depending on what it is. So
do you play?
I do not play. I do sing. I do not play.
I say to people, I think we all have music in us, but it just comes out in different ways.
It is, I mean, a lot of people were like, say, I can't sing or whatever. I tell them that, you find a way. I hear people that, you don't figure that, has a really good voice, or, that have had hit songs in the, past. It's not your traditional melodic kind of voice, but you hear some certain singers, and it's not a traditional singing voice, and they'll still resonate. So, yeah, I agree. Yeah. If you have it in you, do so. I mean, people sometimes argue about not having music programs in schools, and I said, well, it's really important to have stuff like that. It's not about them being encouraged to be rock stars. It's like saying that a football athlete has to be encouraged to go to the NFL. I think
exactly.
A lot of it...
No, that School of Rock thing that a lot of schools have is a very cool thing for exactly what you're talking about,
Yeah, I mean, it talks a lot about teamwork. It talks a lot about creativity, and it gets your mind in a different mindset. I mean, it's been proven that a lot of musicians kind of have a nice math mindset in terms of what's going on in their brains. So, I mean, it's a thing where it only doesn't always it doesn't only stimulate creative portion of it, but also a lot of scholastic stuff as well. So I'm all for having music in schools. So
Totally.
it's great. It's great to be able to see that as well. So yeah, I mean, like I said, we got this project going on right now. Do we have any music that's been released yet?
Yeah, the Tears Are Gone. They was dropped on Friday. We were putting out little snippets of it last month and a half or so, and then on Friday, it was the entire video was dropped and the song, and that's just the first because we do have a complete album done, 12 songs. Not all of them are going to have videos. We've done actually 3 videos, so we have we're kind of looking at the timing, and of course I have a publicist and a social media person helping me, with timing of when to drop these things and what's the perfect timing and et cetera, et cetera. It's like a chess game, making the right move at the right time kind of deal.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where everything kind of goes with this album. I mean, like I said, it just seems like jazz seems to be making a small comeback, and I could see it in a lot of the stuff out here too. So we'll have to see what goes on there as well. Where can people find out more about the band and the project?
Well, there's Facebook, April and the Velvet Room. There is Instagram. There is YouTube. The video is on YouTube and Facebook. And it's somewhere else too, and I'm blanking on it. I'm sorry because my dog is barking at me in the background. But those are the main places to see it all right now.
Well,
there's actually a full web page. It's www.April and the Velvet Room, and is spelled out. Of course, it's not the little symbol.
Okay. Yeah, April and A&D, the Velvet Room. So guys can check out anything. I'm pretty sure the social media links are up there as well if you guys want to follow. And the new single, if you guys want to download the new single as well or listen to it as well. Anything else Anything else coming up for you?
Yes. Like I said, there's some awesome performances that are coming up. We're kind of it's very special, and given the level of musicians that I use, I kind of am at the will of when some of them go on tour periodically with everybody from like I said, Steely Dan to Jennifer Lopez to whatever. So sometimes I wait and see what scheduling is happening when I want to have a show for the people that I want on that certain show. And that's kind of, that's something you have to deal with when you're, again, playing with people of this level, which is, it's fine. I'd rather wait and have everybody there and have an epic show. Sorry, my dog is barking in the background.
It's okay.
She hears me talking and she wants to be part of the deal. So there's that going on, and then I said we're working on some potential music for a movie. We're actually going to release a Christmas song, a Christmas song that's not corny. It actually got a little bit of R&B and jazz in it. More on the R&B side, actually. We're working on doing some classic a cappella work too as well. We're going to do some. I just was trying to set that up today. Some classics, like all a cappella, no instruments, just even the instruments will be sung. So that's going to be awesome.
Well,
and we're going to get this stuff out there as soon as possible.
Well, I mean, that's great. That's great to hear. I mean, the thing with holiday songs too is that a lot of people say it's one of the hardest things to do, just because it has to be almost perfect in order to be a part of it. So I'm interested to hear the new holiday song as well. So we'll have to see what goes with there as well.
Definitely. Love to get it to you when we're done.
Okay, yeah, thank you. And April, pleasure to have you on the show. And we'll definitely talk to you then. I really do hope that you do get to perform up here in Vegas at some point. So we'll hopefully catch up at
we're going to work on it. I'm going to have people working on it. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, thanks.
Gotta love Vegas. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all, April. Thank you.
Thank you. Very nice talking to you, and take care.
After the break, we'll be talking to hip-hop artist IB. Our next guest is a rapper and vocalist and entertainer hailing from Miami, but now based in Los Angeles, California. You could see some of her work on Below Deck, with some of the scenes included in her hot new video right now. IB, Ashley at Brinton is on with us right now. How you doing, Ashley?
Hi, I'm great. I'm so excited to be on.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be able to see, at such a young age, you doing so much right now as well. I mean, how's it been for you to work your way up the hip hop industry and learn a lot from a lot of the experiences that you had over the past year or so?
Honestly, it's been crazy. A lot of work, a lot of time in the studio, a lot of developing, but it's just so much fun. Like, I've been in the studio, I'm just dropping my new single. It's called Wednesday Thought. As you said, I was on Below Deck Mediterranean with my single Good Morning. I shot the video on that. That was so much fun. It was so cool to go out there. But yeah, I'm just really excited about my new single Wednesday Thought. It's dropping on the 22nd, so Friday.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, can you tell me a little bit about being in studio? I mean, was this, the first time you came into a studio, obviously, it could be a little bit nerve-wracking. It could be a little bit fun to kind of learn a little bit about, how everything kind of works. But tell me a little bit about the first time that you ended up in a studio and kind of your evolution in terms of working in a studio and kind of learning that way, learning how to utilize the studio to your best efforts.
Wow, so the first time I was ever in a studio, that was about 10 years ago, and I learned so much, honestly. Like, every single time I go into the studio, I learn more and more, because you feel different vibes, and you learn different things from each producer and each writer that you work with, and their styles, and how your styles can kind of mash up and come together. So it's really cool working with other people, and you learn a lot on the daily basis, of being in the studio with other people.
Yeah, especially considering, having a live audience in front of you is a lot different than being in the studio, and you have to kind of get your energy up a little bit in order to lay down tracks and to, you make sure that the people on the other end listening to the track are kind of hyped up once you're listening to that as well. I mean, is there certain things that you do kind of to get yourself in that mode where, you really want people to start moving when they hear your song?
So you're saying in a live performance, what do I do?
No, I'm talking about in the studio, just to get yourself hyped up.
Oh, a lot of coffee. Just 5 coffees before I go in. And a hamburger too. Gotta get the energy from the food. And I also before I go into the studio, I listen to my favorite artists that I'm really feeling right at the moment. So that kind of helps me get in the mode too.
Now, coming from Miami, I mean, seriously, that scene has been hopping as of the past 5, 6, 7 years. We've been seeing so many great artists out of the Miami area. I mean, what does that mean to you to be a part of that community and to be able to feed off of some of that energy?
Well, it's my home, so whenever I go back there, I'm just surrounded by that energy, and I just feel so excited to create when I'm there, because you have the beach, you have the whole partying scene, and everything is just such a vibe down there. And that's, I think, why so much great music comes out of there, is just because everything is so much fun. You know what I mean? So to be a part of that it's really cool. But we just all have a blast. Me and my friends, whenever I'm back there, I go back there a lot because it's my home. So it's just so much fun to bring that into the studio and to create, and also to share that kind of energy with the crowd when I'm on stage. So I love my hometown, and